Hi, I am just doing a quick card reading before I head out. I just had a feeling to do it. Probably relevant or irrelevant. I've got like five different decks here to do a few cards out of all of them. I gotta be quick. So this is just a generalized reading about um like a life phase of transmuting or transforming in life. Going to a next step in the past from this deck, which is the Shaman's Dream. So this will be about dreams or dream interpretation or things people see in their dreams, maybe. The past says skywriting, Winter's Dream in reverse for the present. Two future possibilities, one being the Dust Devil card, and the other being repairing the veil. In the past, it's like the Fade Sword is kind of like that which we cannot change. So it's something that happened that was kind of set in stone, something that couldn't be changed or avoided, something that happened. Um, mm, so kind of like something that happened at day or by the day, rune or day. Um, Burdens carried over from the past, something hidden in clouds, maybe two people dancing, whispering into each other's ears. In the present, we have the Winter's Dream in reversed. So, kind of like, looks like an upside down snail, um, hanging off the top of a cave. So, someone who is not slow or sluggish, um, hiding on top of something. We have the two possible futures. I don't really want to read more into the present one, but the two adjacent futures, like future dreams. There is moving out of stagnation, or there is repairing the veil and forgiveness. So there's forgiveness represents tying a knot or a bond, or maybe something about a shoe or a lace, or a situation to do with lacing, or something like that. The butterfly represents like a beautiful thing. It also represents time and time energy and time beings, which is interesting. And this dust devil kind of represents like an inner storm waiting to happen within someone pushing it and pushing someone too far. This could be like a destructive outcome as compared to like a bound and tied together possibility for the future as well. This card here reminds me of a hamster running in a hamster wheel as well. So I don't know what that means, but it's interesting. I'm not getting very many things for today. I'm going to read from this other deck here, which is the Prophets cards. Interesting set. Okay, so we have. Oh, they're all upside down. So we have 15, 6, and 35. So we have the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the winds long to play with your hair. I love this because I love walking on the feet with like the bare feet. You know, you've got the wind. Sometimes the wind works for you, and you just walk, and the wind basically just does your hair for you, and you just walk along, and the wind's all like, "Hey." Most of the time, it's on your side. Sometimes it's like a little bit scary. Sometimes it like the wind guides you to something as well. So that's an interesting one. This kind of represents a woman, maybe a woman who her or someone that's older than her would walk in like a red dress, like an olden time 1800s red dress with a lantern. And there's also someone with like a I don't know what that color is, like a lighter browny beigey, like more lighty brown dress as well. I'm seeing green for this one. And then we've got um, this one for probably right now. Life goes not backwards, nor tarries with yesterday, representing children, so it could represent a new generation or people playing someone who plays with someone in some way, bringing about a child. So there will be a child born or conceived in the situation around now, which could be representing this like transformation energy. So it represents a circle of people, one of them wearing a crown with, doesn't say it on the card, but I see one of them wearing maybe like a crown made out of leaves, a grass crown, and kind of like dancing. This one's in the day, but I see them dancing in the moonlight in a forest with this lady with the brown olden 1800s outfit as well. And for this one, for like a future, enter the temple invisible. So prayer. So prayer, um, going to like, I guess it could represent God, it could represent faith, it could represent a good outcome, or someone like basically praying or hoping or wishing for something or wanting something to happen. Um, this kind of represents someone caught between two forces, struggling between two people. Um, these two people might have different intentions. Um, one of them is just trying to pull them towards them and have it their way, and the other is trying to like get them to come over in their direction without hurting them. Let's see what else. A card for insight on this situation could be, I'm getting either one of these two. So this is from the Dragon Fae Oracle, so it's like fairy dragons or fairy type dragons. It's kind of like reminds me of in Tinkerbell how every fairy has an element they come into, like water, fire, that when they're born, and I guess dragon fairies are like fairy dragons, but they can also be water fairy dragons or something. This card is Chimara and the Web of Life, and Queen Onug, a brilliant solution is on the way. So I guess these ones together for this situation represents like a web, like a life, someone like someone who's caught, or kind of like a web spanning out throughout life. Many people meeting or intersecting at a certain point who maybe knew each other before, or a brilliant solution is on the way, like an answer, activation, releasing a no longer blocked throat chakra. The butterfly is present in this, so the butterfly could represent like a time thing, like a time change, a time challenge, a challenge of time that happens, or maybe it's something from the past that is blocking someone's throat chakra that will be fixed or undone, something to do with a throat or a neck, something that is actually a time being, something that maybe changes or fixes. Something that's not quite as it appears. And this card from this one that has fallen out, which I think is the right one, you can't be friends with everyone. Friends do what they do because they are friends, and we love them. They do it because they know it is the right thing to do, but while some people can be our friends, others cannot, this difference is that friends can be inconversant, inconvenient, annoying, troublesome, expensive, and taxing, but we forgive them all. I think this could even represent to someone, if anyone ends up watching this, that maybe someone is your friend, yes, but that doesn't actually mean they're someone else's friend. So they're nice to you because you're their friend, but they might not be what you initially perceive them to be, especially towards other people. Like, and someone out there might know this. The other side of this, the general who advances without coveting fame and retreats without fearing disgrace, whose only thought is to protect his country and do good service for his sovereign in the jewel of the kingdom. So I think this one represents, like, you have your friends. You can't be friends with everyone because that would be impossible. Like, too many people have conflicting views, which kind of does speak to me as well. But this, I think, also represents certain people could be certain people's friends, and they could be nicer to them, but they don't realize how they are to other people. Maybe they met them at the right time. Maybe they have something in common. It also speaks to relevancy. Okay, I'm seeing a past, a present, and a future card for this. I thought there was three future cards, but there is four, and two of them just look the same. So in the past, it is the Queen of Pentacles, an isolated woman standing by herself, full of like lusting for herself or lusting for something about herself. This woman is a powerful woman who stands by herself, but she's not as powerful as some other people in this situations are or may be. She has a fan. She has a fan. She's fanning herself. This fan is actually symbolic of like the vanity she needs to overcome that she has towards herself. In the present, we have the magician in the reverse. This is talking about someone who may be physically upside down or walking in a different direction or going in a different direction to certain people at the moment. Like someone might be heading in a different direction or path than people thought or expected by first glance. This person, someone who will strike with precision, someone who is underestimated, someone who will literally turn your whole world upside down and do it for the good of things. Something about someone with a staff that's on the ground. I'm going to read the actual definitions of these cards as well. Okay, for our different future people or possibilities, or whatever the fuck they are, we have the Ten of Swords in the reverse for someone, the Three of Swords in the reverse for someone. This is the Steampunk Tarot, by the way. We have the represents Victorian. We have the World for someone, and the Tower in reverse for someone. So I don't know what this means, but I'm going to go by the pictures and what the story tells. So the Ten of Swords in reverse, this has many swords in someone's back. So in the positive or the not positive reverse, not necessarily negative or positive, but it represents someone who looks like a good person, but they will put swords in your back rather than someone having their swords put in their back as someone who will put swords in someone else's back the second they turn. Someone who could even maybe trying to like get away from them and jump into or off of something. This one represents Three of Swords in the reverse. In this one, it's got someone putting heart swords and or silver into someone's heart in order to stop it. But maybe in this situation, it's like a similar situation, but someone who put swords into someone's heart, so someone who stabs someone in the heart to keep something or someone going, to kind of keep someone's clock or keep someone's time ticking. So, like, as a good thing, they stab someone in the heart in order to keep someone going, keep the clock ticking, which is kind of good and alright as long as it's not a hard Satanist person that tries to sacrifice and murder someone, because I've survived through crazy people like that before. We have the world for someone else. So this is an empowered woman, but perhaps someone, or it could be a woman, or someone of angelic beauty or grace. There are four corners of something nearby, so something nearby will involve four corners of various elements or aspects or attributes, and something turning, or like a clock turning, or someone maybe even relating to this other person who will be stabbed or in the heart, or I don't know, who knows, maybe even having a heart removed. And this woman is high from grace. People think or it looks or appears this person is falling from grace, but actually they are the way they are supposed to be, and many other people around them could essentially get the fallen status or this or that for even questioning them without supposed to be doing it, because they're kind of like getting this sense of pride or blasphemy or vanity and saying they don't deserve to be this or that, or vainly, or they're like saying, I think they should be this, it's not right, and like vanity or pride or all these certain situations. Maybe there's even a hidden test in this situation with this person, who a person that has like angelic beauty or grace within them. Um, and we have the tower in reverse for the other person. Again, I don't know what all these cards mean exactly, but I'm going to look at the meaning in the book because I'm terrible at this. Sometimes I get good results and find things out before they happen. Sometimes it just means nothing to me. The tower in the reverse kind of represents a building falling. Um, um, there's like something happens in this building, so it's not necessarily a good thing. It's in the reverse, so I don't know what that means, but this building is brewing with tower, so maybe something that's brought down by like an energy boom, or something like a building destruction, or maybe like a something hidden, explosive, hard things happening within a building, something not good or not nice. Someone could be reborn or born as something, because I remember someone saying the tower card can mean like a rebirth. So does the tower in reverse represent or go back to maybe two people playing in a web of life, meaning someone is going to be or get pregnant, which is going to change them into something else, um, which also does represent an like a innocent life, because regardless of what something starts off as, when it starts off, we all start off neutral and we swing towards the good, heavenly, or the evil, satanic side. We start off as like earthly, neutral beings. Some people are confined to the earth or stay at the earth, but they can be like good or evil influences, which is like where the light gray and dark gray come from, but the gray represents like earthly or nature beings, and um, those who stay there or at a neutral affinity and who work with the earth and beings on the earth until, the end comes. Those are kind of like the gray and neutral beings. Okay, so huh, the mouse is back, but this looks like a giant black evil mouse. Um, Ten of Swords for the past is the ending, misfortune, loss, or defeat of a situation. So, judging with like the fact that I've got it, it's someone who has turned around and stabbed someone in the back. They didn't do this for no reason. Um, a fresh perspective as well. It's the end of a difficult situation. It's in the reverse, so it could also represent the cat someone came into the start of a difficult situation. Um, a struggle being how to born hello mouse. There's a mouse. It's so fucking adorable. I hate putting mouse traps out to kill the mouses. It breaks my heart, but they shit and stuff, and I feel like a murderer, a horrid murderer. I'm a horrid murderer. Um, someone who will be defeated, and lessons will be learned, and someone who will be stuck in a mentality and will not gain fresh perspective, even though they really, really freaking should. Three of Swords. This is also on the reverse, so okay, so conflict. So someone is at a standstill. Something that was done easily to someone, like representing the reverse thing. So like someone keeping a heart going, or stabbing a heart, or doing something to a heart to keep it going, to keep like someone's going, or a cycle going, or someone's time going, essentially. Um, Appreciation, conversation, smiling, and someone being together with someone. Um, this should be a painless situation, and someone may find fulfillment. It's the opposite of a love triangle. So this could be a single person loving another person, or even someone coming into loving themselves, or doing what needs to be done. Some kind of key may result from this. Getting close getting closer to a situation or something, um, may like bring you into realization of something, or something even being an unnecessary thing within a situation. Okay, so back to this Queen of Pentacles again. The Queen of Pentacles for one of these people. Um, Generous, stable, down to earth, warming, comforting. Well, I thought it was like confronting, healthy, and contented. So maybe she's content, maybe she's a little bit vain. I don't know. I could have misread it. Down to earth and generous with gifts. I don't get that this person is going to be exactly generous. They could appear generous, but they're actually after something themselves. So even though someone may appear to be quite generous, they are literally just after something. Um, a mature woman who represents these qualities. Someone, I don't know, someone is gonna kind of like be generous in appearance and nature, but they're hiding something secretly and they're after something. When they're giving these things, um, someone who's not quite as they appear. The Magician. Oh God, I hope my laptop doesn't run out of battery before I finish this, because then I have to like splice it together or do two. Let's see how much battery it's got. 29%. Oh, that's not too bad. Someone who says, I am the master of destiny and hold the keys to success. Someone who is skilled, potential, someone who will turn something's life or turn something upside down, or maybe something gets caught. Mastery, resourcefulness, willpower. So someone who is seeking a resource, someone who is, I don't know, upside down for some reason, apparently. I don't know why. Um, Someone who will cut somebody. Um, Apparently this one represents all the four elements in the tarot suit, but I don't get that from this deck and this card, so I don't know if it's relevant. I get that from the world in this card instead of the magician. So maybe two people were mistaken for each other. The fool realizes that he is all the resources and all the powers, and he gains mastery over the material world and manipulation. He has become the magician. An authority figure, an authority figure who has the power to do good. Creativity and resources. So this person is not going to be very creative because it's reversed. They're going to be very either logic, it could be logic driven or very instinct driven, and they're gonna be essentially kind of like cutting just from instinct rather than creativity in this situation. Um, People are gonna try to overcome them without need, so unnecessary fighting or try to overcome each other. Okay, for this other person, the world. I complete the cycle. I complete the cycle that it may turn again and begin anew, which kind of also represents and matches up with the Three of Swords. But yeah, like I think I said that before by just looking at them in that kind of way I learned about somewhere. Fulfillment, achievement, cycles, competition, ending, rewards, success, elements, convergence, a place or night of convergence, dancing woman, uh, angel, eagle, lion, and bull. The four elements in the Suits of Terror. I did get that from this. The fool has accomplished much and learnt what he is capable of doing along the way. Challenge is fast. It could also represent deception, something someone is deceiving and hiding behind their back, coming into light and being shown, something that's like just behind someone being hidden, like at the base of the spine on the back. I think this card represents someone who will win something. And let's see about the tower. Again, this could be a reading that sucks because I can't say every reading I have is good, but I've had many readings that depict things and do well and work well, but I can't guarantee anything. It doesn't make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to someone else. This one's not very in depth and it doesn't really go over a lot of things. I don't really see a lot of things from this, but it doesn't really make sense. This one says, I am the crisis that is the making of you for the tower's representation card, but this tower is in reverse, so I am the salvation that will I am the savior that will undo you. Harmony, the opposite of overthrown, something that is undefined or undescribed, something that is approved of, something that was planned out for a long time, maybe an unseen manipulator in this situation from the background who's been planning something out for a very long time. Tall building that has been struck by lightning, but I think this represents an internal energy burst or destruction, like maybe something pent up for too long. God will be angry. Oh, there we go. It says it. God's angry or disapproving. But it's in reverse, so maybe not angry, or maybe someone they just disintegrate something straight up. The times of this person is supposed to be fruitful, but someone is definitely trying to feed off of their success. Like I've seen a lot of videos about people summoning things or sending people into their life to do this or that. Someone was very successful, and someone might have been jealous of their looks or this or that, or trick them, or tried to like essentially tie them up. Someone tried to tie someone up and do horrible things for them and force them to do things the way they wanted them to do it, but they will end up being overthrown or being in a bad situation, or something of them will end or unmade, or they'll like meet something to do with like all these cards representing here and here representing like the bond or making or doing something for doing this to someone. Um, Someone will be certain or sure about something. Something has already been evaluated. Um, Calculated and timed change, something that has been studied and monitored for a long time. Maybe someone who was where they're not supposed to be, or in a situation they're not supposed to be in because of like a lies or manipulation. Or even getting like an outside force, like reminds me of his theory my brother had about people hypnotizing people in these horrible situations and lying about them, and that reminds me of like videos being edited. Or it also makes me think about this one horrid asshole situation I had with someone when I was like 21, which was a couple of years ago, to do with like this horrible, evil man who, my phone was broken. I was trying to take a picture for an online profile for like social media, and this person was like, oh, I can take your picture, blah blah blah, and then they put a fucking needle, like they injected me with a needle, and a bunch of different times they kept trying to inject me and force me to say yes to having sex with them on camera in order to get what they wanted and make money from this video and blah blah blah. And it kind of reminds me of that situation. Um, it's not very nice. I forgot the next thing I was going to say. Which one does this go in? Yeah, someone drinking and people at situations like this or that. Was going to say something important, but I've forgotten it. Again, someone who's draining, um, beings. Like it kind of represents me of like this thing my mother said about certain beings of life force. Sometimes there's this wavy energy that certain people possess, and someone who knows that it's people's life force they're draining from people when they get this wavy energy they do, which is not the same as other people. Someone might use their own, but they're stealing it from all these other people, and it's not the same as other people. Like, to me, for me personally, that was explained as diamond energy, but for someone out there, it's like she said, pretty much said it's life force. That like wavy energy she has is life force, and she knows it. She's taking people's life force, but I don't know when that is or when that's relevant to anything. I'm trying to, before I end this video, remember the other interesting story I had. People forcing people with the needle. Damn, I forget some of these things at the most important damn times. I think I put these in the wrong boxes. Situations to do with my brother thinking certain people could have influence, or they could lie, hypnotizations, people stealing, I don't know. Yeah. Oh yes, that reminds me. This is what I was gonna say. Like all the situations here could even represent like a kind of manipulation. Like there's this guy I used to have watermelon shell shirts, and this other guy who looked like who my friend said was their brother, but it was on the other side of the country, so I don't think it was them. Like there was someone online who wanted me to sleep with them, and I said no. So they said, "Oh, I know the admins at this site. I'm going to spread all these lies about you. I'm going to tell people you're like a slut, and no one's going to want you." Which people did start wanting me because I refused sex with like 100 to 200 people within the first couple of months of getting there because it's a big city. And then they all started hating me, and they said they were going to spread rumors that I was a slut or a liar or a prostitute or this or that just before my money started going missing again, which I didn't have any of my own money until I was 25 because it was all getting stolen and blah, 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 which is like 400,000 total. But yeah, so this guy, this blonde guy with the watermelon shorts, like spread all these rumors, which led to horrid situations, saying I was this or that, and that I was having sex with people for money when I wasn't. I was saving out of my payment, like $25 a week or fortnight at first, and then um, I was doing like gardening jobs, or I started doing like masseuseing, but I was like no happy endings again because I've been in weird situations with people about those situations before. I was trying to practice like the energy healing, and it just reminds me about how it can all be a perspective. And there's going to be four people. I thought it was three, but there's four of them, not three, and they're going to be involved in a situation to do with something like maybe like this, or a situation going on with someone. Um, Maybe even someone who's spreading these lies and turns around and stabs people in the back because they're jealous, or these people who force people into these horror situations, or they give them some kind of theoretical mask that allows them to not see. Like, I keep seeing my tooth as chipped, like when I tooth chipped it as a kid, because my sister and I were playing on the trampoline, and we were launching out like the trampoline mat broke, and we were launching each other off of the trampoline. We were launching each other off of the trampoline, and I went over the fence and like landed face first. So I was like, phew, and I broke my tooth, and I keep seeing it. It's that like part of me wants to just grow my hair out to a point it should be, not shave my beard, let my nails grow out, and just like take the fucking false tooth out, and just be like, hey, this is what I look like. Deal with it. People are as they are. I kind of, why do I look so much like my old fucking friend right now? It's weird. But yes, it's interesting, or an interesting situation. Yeah. Um, see, do I want? Oh, actually, before I finish this up, I'm gonna get one of these runes for a final clarification. Gibo, so a gift. Someone is a gift, or a gift from like God or the universe, who is a gift or a blessing in human form, and they were very, very much overlooked. And these people think they have ownership or they belong to these people, but these people were here, were actually more important or higher than someone, and they came there and they kind of like sent themselves in as a test, kind of like a being of judgment. Which reminds me of this. Judgment and justice are two different things. Like in life and spirituality, you have the judge, and she is the judge. She's like the angel of judgment, and she exists, and she does this so that a lot of people see her as like a cheater or a gambler in the modern day, or a liar. But she's actually going in to do fair things and say, well, what's wrong with these people doing this? As long as they're providing for their family and providing for themselves, maybe they have another reason to do this, and she is pretty cool. And then there's Judgment, who I don't know what they look like, who is a pretty cool, like they have their own dimension, which is this. I've heard about they have their own dimension, which is like this world where they go, where they can do everything, and they let people think they're winning and do this or that, but they see everything that's going on. It's kind of like the place that exists between life and death, where everyone, including like the angels, forgets about, and all souls go to be judged there before they die, which is kind of supposed to be between, like, some people get a fighting chance or they die straight away, and that is kind of depicted by this world of justice, where the judge also works, and this is their dimension, and they go there to like judge all these people and their stories, and they can see everything, and even if it may appear you are able to layer manipulate to them, um, you're not, because they know, and they see your whole stories, and everyone goes there to be judged one day. Even like the angels themselves go to this world one day to be judged in the end. And I always love the idea of that, because it, like, someone that represents fairness and equality. People are as the way they are. They were born the way they were born because they were, and they're supposed to look like that. Um, it also reminds me of stories, like I can't really remember the name of the story, but like someone who pretended to be this important person, or who's supposed to be this part of the universe, or supposed to be this, and said, "Oh, these people don't deserve to look the way they look." And I was like, "Well, if they had surgery, then that's kind of true, possibly, but maybe it was reconstructive surgery, which I don't agree with. I say let your scars show they're beautiful, but it's like someone of vanity saying, "Oh, they're not supposed to be that beautiful. It must be witchcraft. It must be spells." Like a lot of women died for that, but it was actually an evil seductress biatch who was a vanity demon in the end, who said they don't deserve to look like that, or someone who said, "I know they're not supposed to look like that." Can be pride, or someone says, "It's not right, or it's not natural. They're not supposed to be that by the law of the universal goddess. That it's blasphemy." It also reminds me of like these theories I was taught as a child about how like all this kind of magic works. Some of it's all equivalent exchange. That's why you're not supposed to do like any of it unless it's necessary. Like, for instance, I saw someone online saying, "Oh, come to me for a beauty ritual." Blah blah blah. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not harmful. Well, that's actually so wrong. It's not funny, because from what I learned, everyone's made the way they are for a reason. So if someone does a beauty ritual, it doesn't come from nowhere. It comes directly from someone else, someone who they're related to, someone who has the attraction that they want or the looks that they want. It comes from them. It makes them look like them and them look like them. Like, I just got reminded of it before. And what that actually does is, someone say, "Oh, it's harmless, it's good," but what it actually does is it puts the swing of the universe off. It imbalances the universe and like the laws and the cosmic things as it's supposed to be. So someone won't look like they're supposed to look when someone's supposed to look. It could even cause someone to look in a direction they would have never looked and were never supposed to look, leading them to take a step in a direction they're not supposed to take, meaning this goes in a direction it's not supposed to go, which can lead to a chain reaction of consequences, which is bad. And it's very bad. So people, these are actually really bad, forbidden things. Just like when it comes to, I learned about healing spells. If someone possesses healing ability or healing potential naturally, that's okay. But a healing spell or a spell for healing will come back on you one day. And the bad thing about a healing spell would be that it would actually take the sickness. You'd be like, get this sickness out of this person's body, or even like non-official, non-real prayers that you invented to heal someone. it will take the sickness out of this person's body and put it into someone else. So you could be like cast a spell and be like, I want to get this person to get over their eye cancer or something, and it will give that cancer to someone else. You're like, this woman is weak, I want her to be stronger, and it will take someone else's strength rather than actually prayers to like the actual prayers to the god, like the ones that come from the actual angels. So like that's why I was always like, I don't want to do this kind of stuff. Fuck that, it's not right. It also reminds, damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say again. It reminds me of prayers, blah blah blah. I guess I'll have to include it later, but it was fairly important, I think. Prayers or like attention. Like um, if someone were to like use unnaturally draw someone's attention, it would mean that they were incapable of paying attention any spot besides that spot. Um, or like if someone was trying to like make themselves smarter, and like there's a TV show where someone makes them smart with a smart spell, someone else out there was really fucking dumb for that day, and it took someone's knowledge directly out of their head. And if you take the ability to learn by magic, it makes someone else um, incapable of learning as well. You know, people are all the way they are supposed to be for some reason. Everyone is perfect out there for someone, and yeah, I kind of have this weirdly viewpoint on all that kind of stuff. You know, you might not know or understand it, but that doesn't mean it's not okay to judge it. Like, I think certain things are not okay though. So I don't know, kind of contradicting, right? But it's an interesting theory. It's an interesting theory. Yes. Um. Anyway. Um. Yeah. So this is kind of like a little reading, a little bit of theories. It would have been nice to put the other thing I was going to talk about in, but not that anyone will necessarily watch it. Not that they won't. Maybe next time. Next time I do this, I'm going to use these. If you can see them, these books over here. I've got like these books where you just choose a page, which is kind of cool because I found these books like one is called a love oracle or like a love based oracle or psychic thing, and the other one's called the Book of Answers. And I thought that was pretty cool because when I'm doing all these things, even if I was like ever going to read the Bible or do anything in a page, I just like choose a randomized page and open. I'm like, that will be my information irrelevant to what I need to the day. And these books are based on answers and getting answers specifically from doing that. So I thought that was pretty cool. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do one page of each right now. This video is going on for too long. It's like blur, ew. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to start up with the Love Oracle one. Pretty cool book. It was only $25, which I was like, damn, that's a fucking bargain. It's like a snag. Um, there is nothing more brave or more true than sharing your heart with another. But also, I would say be careful who you share your heart with because it's true and it's brave, but you got to make sure you're doing the right thing and making the right decision because opening your heart up to someone and letting someone into your life can be a very, very dangerous thing, especially if it's like the wrong person. And this other one from the Book of Answers is sometimes there are more than two sides to every story, but the only one on which you can act is your own. It's cool advice. It's interesting advice. I love these books, man. These books are freaking amazing. Okay, thank you for watching or not watching. I honestly kind of don't care. I'm just doing this because, like, why the fuck not? Okay, thank you. Have a nice night. Bye.